have finally reached the end of this course. The last part is for you to test your knowledge via a multiple choice quiz. Feel free to pause the video between the questions to allow yourself some time to think about the answer. If you're not sure about the answer, no worries, it will appear in green after a moment. This quiz consists of 30 questions in total. Let's go. Question number 1. Which of the following is not a disadvantage of liquid cooling? A. More susceptible to leakage than air cooling. B. Require larger computer cases. C. Complicated design and difficult to set up. D. Not supported for all PSU types. That was a tricky question to test whether you fully understand the difference between a CPU, which is a central processing unit, or processor, and a PSU, which is a power supply unit. Liquid cooling is not supported for all CPU types. Therefore, D is the correct answer. Question number 2. Which of the following is not a valid way to view installed drivers on Windows? A. Running the command driverquery/v. B. Running the command driverquery/a. C. The driver store folder located in System32. And D. The device manager. Driverquery/a is not a supported command on Windows CMD. Question number 3. What is the transfer rate limit of SATA 3.0? A. 750 megabytes per second. B. 750 megabits per second. C. 6 gigabytes per second. And D. 6 gigabits per second. Here we have two correct answers, A and D. Remember, 1 byte equals 8 bits, so 6 gigabits equals exactly 750 megabytes. Question number 4. Which of the following are differences between BIOS and EFI? A. PXE or netboot is not supported on BIOS. B. EFI has a more advanced graphical interface. C. EFI allows the user to manage more than 2 terabytes. And D. BIOS has its own shell environment. Here too we have two correct answers, B and C. EFI does have a more advanced graphical interface and does allow the user to manage more than 2 terabytes of storage, unlike BIOS. Question number 5. What is the right order of the 5 booting stages? A. Power up, post, boot device detection, load OS, transfer control. B. Power up, post, boot device detection, transfer control, load OS. C. Power up, post, load OS, boot device detection, transfer control. And D. Power up, boot device detection, post, transfer control, load OS. The correct boot order is power up, post, boot device detection, OS loading, and transferring control to the user. Question number 6. Which motherboard standard is the most popular for home PCs nowadays? A. IPX, B. Full ATX, C. AT, and D. Baby AT. The correct answer is B. Full ATX. Question 7. Which of the following is not an output device? A. A monitor, B. Speakers, C. Barcode scanners, and D. Projectors. C is the correct answer. A barcode scanner does not output any information, but rather accepts barcodes as input. Question number 8. What are the differences between parallel and serial ports? A. The number of pins. B. Parallel ports are RS-232 compliant. C. Data transmission method. And D. All the above. The answers are A. The number of pins, and C. The data transmission methods, Serial ports are RS-232 compliant. Question number 9. What are the main identifiers of the fifth generation of computing? A. Vacuum tubes, massive size and weight. B. Transistors storing data on memory. C. Computer networking, the Internet, graphical user interface-based operating systems. And D. Artificial intelligence, smart assistants, and advanced security. D. Artificial intelligence, smart assistants, advanced security, and other advancements associated with the fourth industrial revolution. Question 10. What is the transfer rate limit of USB 2.0? A. 480 megabits per second. B. 480 megabytes per second. C. 60 megabytes per second. D. 10 gigabytes per second. The answer is A. 480 megabits per second. Question number 11. Which file type is not included in a driver package? A. .url, B. .xml, C. .inf, and D. .sys. The correct answer is A. .url. Question number 12. Which of the following is not an internal connector? A. A USB header, B. An IDE connector, C. A SATA power connector, and D. A serial port. A serial port is not an internal connector. Question number 13. What are reasonable considerations before purchasing a PSU for a home PC? A. The OEM brand. B. Making sure the PSU is unregulated. C. 80 plus certification program. And D. System power requirements. In this case, all the answers are correct except B. As home consumers, we actually want to make sure that the PSUs are power regulated and not unregulated. Question number 14. What is the most popular standard for adding new video adapters? A. AGP, B. PCI, C. PCIe or PCI Express, and D. HDMI. If you thought the answer was HDMI, remember that HDMI is a connector that directly attaches monitors to your computer. This is not a connector that allows you to add graphics cards, so PCIe is the correct answer. Question number 15. Match each component to its most correct description. BIOS is a legacy firmware responsible for handling basic input and output operations upon boot. ROM is a non-volatile memory used for read-only operations. Firmware is a permanent software like the BIOS, which is programmed into a ROM chip. EFI and UEFI are both modern BIOS interfaces with improvements. The UEFI is an improvement of EFI. CMOS is a chip on the motherboard that stores the BIOS configuration. Question number 16. Which of the following components is or are connected to the North Bridge? A. The RAM or random access memory. B. PCI. C. PCI Express. And D. USB. Answers A and C are correct. Think about the fastest and the highest priority components when thinking about the North Bridge, so in this case, the RAM and PCIe. Question number 17. Which socket would be ideal for an i7 processor? A. Socket 7, B. 370 pin, C. The LGA 1100 series, and D. The LGA 2000 series. The answer is C. LGA 1100 series. Question number 18. Where would you search for the specifications of a motherboard before purchasing it? A. A reseller's website. B. The manufacturer's or the OEM's website. C. Speccy. And D. CPU-Z. The best and most reliable source of information for hardware specifications is the manufacturer's website. Question number 19. Which are the main differences between SRAM and DRAM? A. DRAM does not require refresh intervals. B. SRAM is relatively more expensive than DRAM. C. DRAM is mainly used as system memory. And D. SRAM is relatively slower than DRAM. So we know SRAM is more expensive than DRAM, and DRAM is mainly used as system memory, so B and C are correct. Question number 20. What are the two most important units of a CPU? A. The L5 cache. B. The arithmetic logic unit, or ALU. C. The control unit. And D. The socket type. The control unit and the arithmetic logic unit are the most important units in the functioning of a CPU, so B and C are correct. Question number 21. Match each component to its correct description. So ISA is a multi-purpose slot used in the 80s for IBM proprietary peripherals. PCI is a multi-purpose slot used for adding peripherals. This is an old standard. PCIe is a multi-purpose slot used for adding modern high-performance peripherals. That would be the evolution of PCI. AGP is used for adding old video cards and 3D accelerators, nowadays deprecated. AMR was used for old cards that had audio, modem, or both functionalities embedded. And CNR was used for old cards that had audio, USB, modem, network, or all functionalities embedded. Question number 22. What are the main differences between primary and secondary memory? A. Secondary memory can't be virtualized. B. Primary memory is volatile. C. Secondary memory is slower than primary memory. And D. Primary memory is used mainly for storage. B and C are correct. Primary memory is usually RAM and therefore volatile. Secondary memory is much slower than primary memory and serves for long-term storage. Question 23. What is the difference between a video adapter and a GPU? A. They are essentially the same thing. B. The GPU is the video adapter's processor. C. GPUs are used only on new computer models. And D. GPUs are produced only by NVIDIA. The correct answer is B. GPU stands for a graphical processing unit. So, as the name implies, it is a processor designed for graphics optimization. Question number 24. What is the correct way to write the number 781 in binary? The answer is C. From right to left, the active bits correspond with the numbers 1 plus 4 plus 8 plus 256 plus 512, which equals 781. Question number 25. What is the correct format of a MAC address? The answer is B. MAC addresses have 48 bits. Each octet represents 8 bits in hexadecimal numbers. A is an IPv6 address, B is an IPv4 address, and C is a subnet mask address. Question 26. Which of the following is the fastest type of secondary memory? A. SAS. B. SATA. C. DRAM. D. NVMe. The answer is NVMe, so D would be correct. Question number 27. Which of the following functionalities is not related to the CPU? A. Multi-threading. B. Caching. C. Overclocking. And D. RPM. The answer is RPM, or repetitions per minute, which is associated with disk drives and cooling fans, not with CPUs. Question number 28. How many kilobits do we have in 1 terabyte? A. 1 billion. B. 1 million. C. 8 billion. D. 8 million. The answer is C. 8 billion kilobits in 1 terabyte. We have 1 trillion bytes in 1 terabyte, which are equal to 1 billion kilobytes. To calculate the number of bits, we multiply by 8, which results in 8 billion kilobits. Question number 29. Which of the following is not an example of memory virtualization? A. SDRAM. B. The pagefile.sys file. C. The hyperfill.sys file. D. Virtual disks. The answer is A. Remember, SDRAM is a type of RAM which is physical memory. System files and virtual disks fall under memory virtualization. Question number 30. Which type of RAM can withstand a power loss and keep the data intact? A. SRAM. B. NVRAM. C. DRAM. And D. SDRAM. B is the correct answer. NVRAM stands for non-volatile RAM and is backed by a long-lasting battery in case of power outage. This is it. Now that you have completed this course, you should be familiar with basic computer hardware technologies and best practices, and perhaps this could be the beginning of your career path as a hardware engineer or a computer technician. Nevertheless, I hope you found the content of this course useful and that it will help you advance in the path you choose. I'd like to thank you all for watching this course and bearing with me so far. I do understand that for most people, this is maybe not the easiest field of study, and therefore I do encourage you all to leave a comment or send me a direct feedback on darkscript@protonmail.com. Feel free to ask me any question you have in mind, propose new ideas for video tutorials that you would like to see in the future, or just submit any other feedback you may have. Hardware Fundamentals is the first course I have shared so far. However, there is much more to come in networking and cybersecurity fundamentals. I hope you enjoy this course, and I wish you all good luck in developing your IT careers, hoping that you found this information useful. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel and share the videos with other people. There is much more coming soon. Thank you again, and see you all in the next courses.